Girls. What was the most obvious hint you dropped? And the guy just didn't get it? We were playing life and he was the police officer. The rule is, if you spin a 10, he gets your speeding fines. I literally pulled open my button down and exposed my breasts and said, what can I do to get out of paying this? He said, ma'am, I am an officer of the law. Are you trying to prostitute yourself to me? A couple days of flirting and sexual innuendo later, I literally had to spell out that I was trying to beep him. We've been together 6 years now. Yo, that dude is serious about his role playing. And yet somehow I've never been able to convince him to play D&D with me. I'm the guy in this situation. But I couldn't help not sharing this story. In college, this girl I was really into asked if I wanted to hang out at my dorm and drink and watch Netflix. She came over and we were watching and drinking on the couch in the living room. Per my suggestion. Things are going good. And about an hour into it she says, oh, let me see your room. So we go to my room. She takes her shoes and socks off and immediately sprawls herself out on my bed and says, oh my God. Your bed is so comfortable. I responded with, we live in the same building. It's the same bed as yours. She left about 10 minutes later. Oh my beeping God, dude, lol. Honestly, I think I reacted in a similar way. He told me my hair looked nice. I said, bet it would look nicer with your hands in it. He said, in a very confused tone, want me to style your hair? Edit. Glad one of y'all thought my mixed signals was worth silver. This one is great. At least he managed to say he was clueless. We were talking about canoes and I said I'm like a canoe because I'm wet and you can go inside me, and he said canoes aren't really wet. Edit. Some PPL think he was rejecting me, but we ended up dating for 2 years. The thing is, if he did acknowledge the sign, how should he have responded? Cowabunga. When my boyfriend and I had just started dating, we were laying down watching a movie. But this was a small bed and he was being respectful and giving me space. I kept wiggling backwards so I could get closer to him, and he kept inching backwards too. Since he thought I was just trying to get comfortable and he was in the way, he ended up sitting in a chair next to the bed. 3 years later we are still together. And I still think it's pretty funny. He told me that when he was in the chair he purposefully left his hand next to me in case I wanted to hold it. But I guess I missed that sign too. He didn't get out of the bed because he was uncomfortable. He truly thought he was taking up too much space and didn't realize I was trying to cuddle. This one made me laugh out loud. Imagining him scooting all the way off the bed just to give you space is so sweet. LOL. We were so awkward when we first started dating. Apparently both of us would awkwardly leave out hands next to the other to initiate hand holding, but neither of us noticed. I threw my panties at him and he kept explaining God of War lore. This one wins. A couple of weeks ago, to my boyfriend of 3 years. Me. Undresses and lays naked on the couch. Waiting to bone. Him. Makes dumb joke. Oh, you're naked? That's so weird. Me. Dies a little bit inside. Edit. Thanks for my first award, guys. Glad some people thought this was funny. After chatting for hours on top of a mountain from sunset until like 2 a.m. Sharing a blanket. Me leaning my head on his shoulder. Telling him he's attractive. Etc. He turns to me and says, how do you tell if a girl is into you? He suspected that you were hinting and gave you a way to confirm or deny. Good move on his part. Reading these posts has gotten me even more confused. I am a guy in my 30s. Basically 70% of the top replies has happened to me a lot except the super obvious ones where the girl is making a physical move, hug/kiss. But the couple of times I've actually made the move, nope. They just want to be friend. FML I guess. And this is why we ignore all those hints. I'm a guy but I once had an experience where I took the hint but still got rejected. A girl had asked me if I lost my virginity yet we were in high school. When I said I hadn't, she said that I could practice on her whenever I want. Mind you, we walking home after school because we lived close. I try to act on this hint when we get to her house and she said she was only joking and doesn't want it to be weird with us as friends. Is it possible to get second-hand depressed? Because I think I just did. Before we started dating, I told my current boyfriend I love you and he said, "Oh, I love you too, you're such a good friend." The whole time we thought we were both friend-zoning each other. Wasted half a year going in circles SMH. Guy here. Was invited back to study by one of the girls in my class at her apartment. We're about half HR in and she says she might take a shower. I'm like, okay, kinda random, but okay. Anyway, she starts telling me the door to the shower is broken so don't come in. Says it 3 or 4 more times. Again. I'm like, okay, weird, she said that multiple times, but okay. HR later the shower is still running. I can hear her singing and humming away so I know she's okay and hasn't drowned. Thinking, gee, that's a long shower though. Water goes off and she comes out dressed and says, "You didn't come in?" I'm confused as I'm like, WTF, she told me not to. She sits back down. Clearly distracted and not wanting to study. We wrap up after 5 minutes. Drive home. Mate asks me how study was about a week later and the situation, which I hadn't given a single brain cell of thought to since, I explained to him. As I'm saying it out loud the penny drops as to what a big beep head I am. She's the idiot. Not you. She literally told you not to come in. It's entirely reasonable not to come in. Can you believe that creep of pervert came in after I told him 4 times not to? So answering in lieu of my late wife here, I husband am dumb. Like. Really dumb. She and I met and became friends very quickly. But I didn't know she apparently had a huge crush on me. I thought she was out of my league. And apparently she thought I was out of her league too. But she couldn't stop the feels. She rubbed her feet on me while we were talking. Asked me in detail about my package. Gave me her phone number with the line, "Hit me up if you want pizza and sex." We went out for lunch. She offered to fillet me for a Dr. Pepper. And she was very insistent that we got Meat Lover's Pizza when I asked her what she wanted for watching a movie later. After we watched the movie she was in my bed. I figured she was just wanting to keep warm and cuddle. But she strutted into my bathroom stark naked and I had some DDs staring at me. She kissed me and told me, "I want you to beep me." You idiot. A regular romance story there. In my defense, she had a really warped sense of humor and I thought she was kidding with all that stuff. It felt so natural with us being friends that the thought didn't even cross my mind until she propositioned me that there was potential for more. I'd had some really beeped up exes and I thought romance was something where I had to jump through hoops for the other person and wait on them hand on foot. But she was different. That's why she was the one who I got on one knee for. Advice to the ladies out there. If my wife telling me "I want you to beep me" got through my legendarily thick skull, I think as a last resort that'll get through to anybody. This was really sweet. And I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing well enough. It has been 2 years since she passed and I've recently started seeing someone after a period of mourning. We already have some inside jokes about me being a knuckle dragger. So I'm fairly certain that this one will be a gem of me being a dumbass too. Wish you well, mate. We're all rooting for you. I asked a guy on a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower, and I was like, well, they are big, I'm sure it's fine, and he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it and he really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. Honestly, I feel this one. I was at my sister's a few weeks ago, and her boyfriend was in taking a shower. I was about to get into the other shower, and my sister says, I'll be in the shower if you need me. Me. Isn't boyfriend in the shower right now? Her. Yes. Me. So you're showering in a few minutes? Not now. Her. No. Me. But boyfriend is already in there. Her. Yes. Me. Her. Me. Oh. Facepalm. Beeping hell, for a second I thought your sister was trying to get you to go into the shower with her. I was like, is this the start to a Pornhub community video? Before my boyfriend asked me out, he kept hinting at the fact that we were both single and everyone though we would be cute together. I was like, haha. Yeah, not realizing he was trying to ask me out. I'm not as brutally upfront as some of these people, but mine happened yesterday. How do I know a girl is flirting with me? He asks. She touches you a lot while you two are talking. I cannot relate at all. That never happens to me. I'm sure it does. I tell him and hit his arm. I can't think of any time that's ever happened. See. This is a rough one. Because I had this one girl I'd talk to all the time. And she'd sit next to me in class. I had a huge crush on her. And she'd be overly touchy all the time. She'd occasionally even rest her head on my shoulder / sleep on it during class when she was tired. Just stare into my eyes for prolonged periods of time. And hug me. When I told her I had a crush on her, she shut me down completely. And told me she only saw me as a friend. It's amazing how I can look at those two little symbols and know that the smile is empty and the eyes are dead and hollow. Sorry for your loss. For Valentine's a couple of years ago, I mailed my husband a package. The note said, and I quote, "I want you now." I was ready to spring into some extra fun sexy time whenever he opened the package. I had to sit him down and explain a couple of hours later. He was like, yeah. My wife's learned to just holler, come to bed now. Otherwise I'm a dumbass that doesn't get it. On our first date, my current boyfriend and I went out to dinner, to a bar, and eventually back to his house to watch scary movies. After hanging out for almost 8 hours at that point, practically cuddling into him the entire time we were watching movies, dropping as many hints as I could. Around 3 a.m. when we were both fighting to stay awake, I finally had to look his dumb ass in the eye and ask, "So are you going to kiss me or not?" Though he was totally oblivious, it did show his good heart. He was about to let me fall asleep on his couch and spend the night without even trying to kiss me. I knew he was a keeper after that. When I was about 35, I lived in a beach town near a university. My neighbors were all college kids. Next door was 2 college girls. One was always flirting with me. One hot summer day, she turned up at my door in nothing but a long t-shirt. She asked if she could hang out in the A/C. I said sure, and she came over to the sofa I was sitting long ways on and laid with her back to my chest and asked if we could snuggle. I was okay with that. She then asked me to rub her belly, which I did. As you can imagine, after about an hour, I was getting a little worked up and touched her breast. While rubbing her belly, she jumped up and stormed out. I was like, WTF? She later said she didn't see me like that. I asked her why she'd show up almost naked, lay between my legs like couples do, and ask me to rub her belly and then get pissed when I try to progress things. She said she looks at me like a big brother. I was like, WTF is your family like? And that is why so many guys in this thread didn't get the hints. It isn't a universal thing. Yep. I know some girls that if they brushed against your hand, that's clearly a sign they're flirting with you. At the same time, I know a girl who could be holding your hand and it means absolutely nothing. Currently trying to figure out that latter girl actually. I had a girl invite me round her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley Davidson motorbikes. And she said she's never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence, and after a few other bits of small talk I decided to be on my way. 2 years later I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Harley. Ridden a Harley. My name is Harley. Damn, I feel so bad for her. That's a perfect line too. Gotta wonder if she bought those posters just to set up that line. That feels like something I would dedicate the time and money to doing, tbh. Me to me, $20. A master pun. This is a sure thing. I'm so cool. In reality. FML. One time a girl straight up asked if I wanted to take my pants off and I didn't get it. I was like, nah. They're actually not uncomfortable at all. Usually when girls ask you to take off your pants, it's for their comfort. No one wants to come in contact with the kind of tough fabric a lot of pants are made of when they're sleeping. Also, always take off your belt. That's just cruel to accidentally poke someone with your belt buckle. I too always remove my belt after taking my pants off. Literally said I want to be yours, and the dude just keeps smiling and goes on about random space facts. That one hurt a bit. What was the coolest space fact? Edit. Thanks for the other award, guys. I can't recall. Sorry. I kind of just re-evaluated my whole flirting technique after that. Fair enough, I just wanted to learn about space. Headed. I did not expect my karma to double last night, and thanks for the awards, guys. I'm gonna know everything about space now. Did you know that while at its closest point, Venus is the planet closest to Earth? Most of the time Mercury is our closest neighbor. Even more amazing, Mercury is the closest neighbor most of the time to all the planets in our solar system. The mostest closest. I am a guy. But I can share my density as the guy that missed the hints. I went to a store where there was a girl I liked in college. We used to small talk while I browsed and never bought anything. Bring a poor college student. This time I came in the store and she said I, and we chatted a bit while I shopped. She complained, "I'm going to be home alone tonight. My family is out of town." I replied, "Oh, that's too bad." She says, "I'm off at 5 today, it was 4 at the time. What are you up tonight?" "I'm up for anything." "Oh, nothing. Just sitting at home and watching a movie." My brain must have completely self-destruct, because the conversation ended there. I never saw her again after that. She either quit, or was avoiding me. I must have been in a daze from school to miss that cue. School does that to me too. Plus the fact that I'm shy and therefore believe I never get attention adds to the oblivious bliss. We were discussing costumes and I sent a picture of me in my bunny suit and said I'd need help out of it. His response was telling me he hoped my roommate was home or that would suck. I had to tell him I was implying I'd like him to take it off me and it took him a minute to catch up. Edit. For those of you concerned, it was very much a suggestive picture. I'm not sure it could have been perceived as just friendly, and no, you won't be getting proof of said picture for those in my DMs LOL. I was very much ready to hit him with the bat of bluntness because we get along great and he'd seemed flirty with me before. Jessica. That makes no sense. How can I help you when I'm clear across town? Speed limits suddenly become 25 miles per hour higher. Forget it. Lou. Someone going that fast has no time for a ticket. Invited him over to watch a movie, eventually laying my legs across his lap and hard flirting, but after 4 movies I had to finally make the move. Edit for clarification. We'd been flirting via text, sexting, exchanging nudes, etc. I had previously told him to his face that I liked him and I'm giving him the green light to make any move. Still nothing after a month of dating. I seem to always take the lead on things and I like assertiveness, but I wanted to give him the opportunity to feel like he could be in control. That it was okay. I was very direct many times. We'd had several discussions about it. Still nothing. Even after I finally made the move, I had to literally say, I want to have sex with you. 4 movies in one night? Or like 4 evenings spread over a few weeks. Both seems astonishingly long time to get your hints. 4 in one night? After I had told him previously that I'm giving him the green light. He said he was scared of creeping me out, LOL.